All right, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Same Schick, Different Day. I am your main host, Schick Soto. And for those who don't know me, that is Schick like the razor. And also joining me here today is my co-host, Justin Metzger, a.k.a. El Güero. Justin, how you doing, bro?
Feeling good, Chick. Thanks for having me for episode 1. Beginning of a good thing. I can feel
man.
it.
Yeah, no, thank you for joining me. I know we are both pretty pumped up and excited because we've been talking about getting this started for a while now, and it took a little longer than expected, but better late than ever, right?
Yeah.
So since this is the first episode, we want to go ahead and break down what the pod's going to be about. For those who know me and Justin, we're just a couple of big sports fanatics who are also a couple of degenerates, and we just think there's not a better mix than that. So we're going to keep everything kind of basically sports related topics like fantasy, sports betting, what's going on in the sports world, college football, and whatever else we want to get mixed into. There'll be some random sports, but we're just big NFL fans, and what better, time to start than with the wild card or the super wild card weekend. That's what they call it. We're gonna have a couple different segments. First segment's usually gonna be like hot topics, what's going on. Our fantasy segment's gonna be later on, now that fantasy's over, and then we're also gonna have our Parlay Boys segment, which is sports related, sports bets related, I should say. And then we're also going to have guests joining us later on, some, future episodes. And our guests are going to be people who are up and coming, those who are starting a business, those who are in school, those who are doing some positive, successful, or reaching their successful goals. Because we want to go ahead and, what am I looking for there, Justin, is we want to pay it forward, right? Because a lot of people show us love. So we want to show that love back.
Support the community.
Got to,
baby. That's what they say, I believe.
Yeah. And since we're not going to have a fantasy segment, we just want to give a couple shout outs real quick. Our main league is a keeper league, and we'll get into that later on in another episode. But we want to shout out the champion for this year, which is Goose. It's actually his second time winning in this league. Him and Josh are the only 2-time champions at the moment. So congrats to Goose. I believe his team name is Win Forever. And then I want to give myself a little pat on the back because I am a champion in another league. It is the Vaca Family League. Our boy Carlos Vaca. Thank you. And the reason why this one means a lot to me is because his whole family are Raider fans, and obviously, as you can tell, Charger fan, baby. So this is the first time that they're going to have a trophy, and they got to give it to me at the next year's draft. So that's going to be exciting. And one little other shout out is to our boy Josh for a couple reasons. One, me and Justin, we were going up against him in 2 different leagues at the same weekend in the playoffs, and he knocked both of us out the same weekend. But the reason why we want to shout him out is because of his great fantasy team name, and that is Grandma's Fantasy Funhouse.
I don't know if great is the word that I would use. Random, funny.
We both got knocked out by Grandma's Fantasy Funhouse.
I would bet none of our viewers have ever gone up against Grandma's Fantasy Funhouse.
No.
Kind of a tongue twister.
Yeah, definitely. But he ended up losing to Brock's Big Cox. So shout out to Brock's Big Cox for winning that league. But anyways, so let's just get right into it, Justin. First segment here is the hot topics. Let's let the viewers know, our listeners know who our favorite teams are. Obviously, they can tell by the background. Big Charger fan.
Yeah, so Seahawks fan. Kind of a weird year for the Seahawks. Looked like they were kind of a shoe-in for the playoffs, I'd say, about midway through the year, and things kind of fell apart on that tough run. We had what? Dallas, 49ers, Philly.
That Dallas game you guys should have won too.
Yeah, but they had a pretty tough run there in the middle of the schedule and didn't get it done in the division. 2 losses against the Rams, 2 losses against the 49ers. Not gonna make the playoffs.
Those division games, man.
With that, but I mean, good season overall. Team, I feel like the team moved a step in the right direction. We had several Pro Bowlers. Bobby Wagner, the timeless middle linebacker, went to the Pro Bowl again. Maybe not the best in pass coverage anymore, but the guy's still getting it done, and apparently coming back again next year, which is a little bit of a surprise to me.
How many alternates do you guys have? Like, was it 8?
Eight alternates,
Nice.
along with Bobby Wagner, Devon Witherspoon, and Julian Love.
Witherspoon's the rookie, right? He actually might win Defensive Rookie of the Year, right?
Yeah, I think he missed a couple games, but he looked good. It looks like they hit on that pick. If he can stay healthy, I think it was a little bit of a surprise. Everybody
5th overall, right?
Yeah, and everybody thought we were going Carter. But
yeah, he ended up being pretty good too.
Yeah, he started really strong, but he tailed down a little bit towards the end too. I'm actually not sure who the front runner is right now for rookie defensive player of the year. It's pretty kind of a jumble there.
Yeah. Yeah, and then obviously you could tell by my background, Charger baby. And I want to give a quick shout out to the club that I'm a part of. It's Die Hard Bowl Club. We actually just started our Seattle chapter this year as well. And so you can go ahead and follow us on Instagram or Twitter. And that's DHBC SEA, Die Hard Bowl Club Seattle. And that's mainly for anyone, here in the Pacific Northwest Seattle area. If you're a Charger fan and you just want to go watch it with other Charger fans, hit us up. And we've been having some awesome watch parties. But speaking of my Chargers, Dicker the Kicker got snubbed for Justin Tucker, which makes sense, I guess. Tucker's a legend, but he didn't have the same numbers that Dicker actually had this year. And Dicker and who's the Cowboys guy? Audrey. These young kickers were killing it this year.
Yeah, he made what, his first 30 something kicks in a row.
I think he missed his first kick during the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's over 30 kicks. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe it's over 30 kicks to start his career, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, it's nuts, man.
And like 5 or 6 of those were like 50-yarders, so it wasn't like he was just hitting chip shots.
Oh, yeah, he helped me win a couple fantasy games, fantasy matchups.
Yeah.
But we have a couple Pro Bowlers too, just 2 this year. It's Keenan Allen and Khalil Mack, which is kind of strange because they're like 2 of our older players. But we had 7 alternates, and yes, my Chargers got last in the AFC West. Unfortunately, we did not have the year that we were expecting to with Herbo, men in the offense. Fired our coach and GM finally, and we are now drafting at the 5th overall in the first round, which is dope because the last 2 picks that we had that were the 5th round picks in the first, or the 5th pick in the first round, was LT and Junior Seau, baby. So I like our track record.
Who do you want to see him take? Who's your front runner right now?
Man, we can get into another episode, but just off the top of my head, receiver or tight end. Neighbors, I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be there. But
you never know. You never know. Yeah, you guys got a lot of good options for weapons at the top of the draft this year.
We
Herbert.
Definitely need a wide receiver and a tight end. But yeah, so that's actually that brings us to a good point right here. Bears have the first overall pick, and you know how I feel. I love Justin Fields. You, not so much, but there's a little bit of social media activity going on. He liked the Hawks Instagram, I believe, and DK and you guys' rookie wide receiver. What's the name?
JSN, Jackson Smith in Jigba.
Yeah. He liked them or followed them on Instagram and on social media. So there's a little bit of speculation and rumors that are they going to let him go? Are the Seahawks kind of going to go after him? Like, how would you feel if Justin Fields?
Sure, if the price is right, I'd take him, but certainly not for a first rounder. There's rumors out there right now for what the Falcons are going to give up the 8th overall pick. They would be out of their mind to give the 8th overall pick up for Justin Fields.
I would do it.
Out of their mind. And that would be the only way I really would support the Bears getting rid of him. I mean, you can't say no to that, but I personally wouldn't even want the Seahawks to give up their 16th pick for him. If it was a second rounder, I would
You wouldn't give it the 16th for Justin Fields? I mean, your guys' cap situation's a little bad, but
he'd be a rental, and I just don't see him being the X factor that kind of takes us over the
rental, bro. Justin Fields would be your guys' future if you guys traded for him.
Yeah, well, we're just on we're on different pages with that one, my friend. Somebody's gonna pay him. He'll make his money, but yeah, I don't think he's gonna push the Seahawks over the top.
Need something better than Geno. You know how I feel. One hit wonder, baby.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He does have a nice deep ball, though. Huh?
I'm not gonna defend Geno. We need Penix.
And Drew Lock is not. Yeah, there we go. Shout out to the Huskies.
Michael Penix. Yeah, shout out to the Huskies.
And then since we were talking about Pro Bowlers, man, there's a few obvious teams that didn't have no Pro Bowlers, but the one that kind of caught my eye was the Green Bay Packers. They had no Pro Bowlers, but they're out here killing the game right now. And Jordan Love is having a fantastic season, even though he had a few bad weeks. But man, Brandon Staley, Packers, you guys can credit Brandon Staley for the success that Jordan Love has had, because after he played the Chargers, that boy just went up. Did not have a bad game after that.
I was wondering where you were going. I was wondering where you were going with that one.
Brandon Staley's defense just made him look like he was a Hall of Famer, bro.
I mean, Jordan Love should have been on the cusp of being a NFC quarterback in there for the
Pro Bowl.
For the Pro Bowl. You know, he had to be right there in the next couple guys. Yeah. The NFC was pretty weak at quarterback, honestly. Yeah. I mean,
definitely a debate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is he not a top 5 quarterback at this point in the NFC?
I don't think so.
I mean,
top 12 maybe. But
no, in the NFC.
Oh, in the NFC.
In the NFC. Yeah, not 12. Not.
I mean, I don't know. Let's think about it. Who are the top QBs in the NFC?
I'd put, Dak, I guess. After that poor performance, Dak at the time was
all
ahead
right, let's leave the playoffs out of it real quick. Just normal regular season. Like, Dak had a pretty good year. Hurts was having a great year until last 4 weeks.
Stafford, Brock Purdy.
Purdy was he's having a great year. Yeah.
After that, though, it's pretty open to debate. After those 4, I would say that he might be the next guy. And after some of the performances by those guys we just put ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see next year. Next year will be pretty telling, but the Packers seem like they know something about drafting quarterbacks and developing them.
Yeah, and he was actually part of the 2020 draft class too, which included Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Tua, Love, and Hurts. Bro, that's a crazy ass draft class for QBs.
Yeah, a lot of talent in that one.
All right, man. Well, the other big news right now is like the coaching carousel. Like, there's so many Hall of Fame coaches available at the moment, and the Pete one was kind of surprising, but I mean, there was already rumors that, there was that chance he was going to get let go. I thought they were going to give him at least one more year. Again, Brandon Staley got fired. Mike Vrabel is out of Tennessee. Bill Belichick, and he just interviewed with the Falcons, or how some people have been putting it, he interviewed the Falcons. But imagine Bill Belichick and Justin Fields on Atlanta.
I mean, they looked pretty good at times with Mariota at quarterback. And I mean, I would say Fields 2 years ago now, when Mariota was the quarterback. And, I would say Fields is a upgrade over him. And he looked pretty good in that offense. And they've added Bijan since then. So I could see it working. Yeah. I wouldn't give up. I'll go back to, I'm not giving up that eighth pick. It's gotta be a little bit less than that. I mean, Fields has had plenty of time to prove it, and he really just hasn't.
A terrible O-line though, man. Yeah, and not a really good structure.
But quarterbacks like that don't always do well with the O-line. He has a tendency to break to the outside and throw outside the pocket anyway. So is he gonna just having that O-line really help a quarterback like that? I mean, look at all the years Russ was really good, no O-line, because he didn't want to stay in the pocket.
Yeah, I feel you there, but you guys were really winning those games because of the Legion of Boom too. He was doing just enough to definitely not get sacked or turn the ball over, but the defense was the big positive in that team, in those teams, I should say. But back to the coaching, who do you want? Who are you leaning towards?
Man, I'm still stinging. We lost a couple coaches in a week span. We lost Pete, and then probably even the bigger.
Bro, I'm telling you, Mike Vrabel. I can never say his last. Vrabel.
Look, I kind of I'm on the more like younger, offensive-minded type coach.
The Ben Johnsons, the OC for the Lions, right?
But I mean, like guys like McVay and things like different change-ups that Matt LaFleur, like some of these younger some of these younger coaches, like, and Vrabel's, I wouldn't hate it. I honestly don't know who I want now. I mean,
he's probably my number 2 for me. Like, I want Jim Harbaugh for the Chargers, but Vrabel would be like number 2, 3. Bro, I mean, this dude literally went on a show. I can't remember if it's like a radio show or something, but he's like, I'm gonna cut off my own dick for Super Bowl. that's the kind of coach I want, baby.
I wouldn't
Sacrifice.
I wouldn't hate it. And I guess if you look at the odds right now, he's one of the top 3. But nobody know. Even Vegas doesn't know who's coming to Seattle. So
I thought the favorite right now for Seattle was Dan Quinn.
Well, they were all pretty much the same. They were between +3 and +400. The top 3 or 4 guys are all kind of in a cluster right there. Yeah, I think the media likes Dan Quinn with Gus Bradley as his coordinator. A little blast from the past there, but we'll see what happens. I mean, it's all going to play out. I would say the 2 best jobs, maybe we're a little biased, 2 best jobs available are definitely the Seahawks and the Chargers. So hopefully we'll get first picks at who we want.
Yeah, man. And then the other big news in college sports was Nick Saban retiring. That was a big bombshell. And then they stole UW's coach, which is a Fresno State coach, DeBoer.
Caleb DeBoer. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going a moment ago, but that one stings a little bit more than even the Carroll one. You're rebuilding your program, and then he tells you what you need to hear during the breakup. It's the only person I would have gone to, the only team I would have gone to, and it feel like a wounded ex-girlfriend or something.
Yeah, he tore it up from the floor up, bro, just by switching over or leaving UW to go to Alabama. But UW was able to kind of recover a little bit by hiring Arizona's coach, Jed Fish.
Yeah. And what's crazy about that is, did we just do to Arizona what Alabama did to us?
Exactly.
I mean, how could they do that? And then, I mean, we had to, so it's kind of big fish eat little fish world. I mean, college football it's
a business, baby.
And it's a mess right now. Honestly, I don't think anyone knows what's going on in college football right now with all the portal and NIL. Like, it's going to take a few years.
Yeah. The number 1 offensive tackle that was in Alabama just announced that he was going in the transfer portal.
Yeah, I mean, he has a job to retain Saban's guys too. It's not like he's walking into a cakewalk. And I think we talked about this off camera pretty extensively, and just
off the record.
Yeah, like who, he's got to follow in Saban's footsteps. It's going to be pretty difficult for him to lay out a legacy there for himself. And if he doesn't perform, he's going to be out of there quick, and he's going to be wishing he kept that UW job.
It could be a big downfall like the Eagles this year.
It's a gamble, but they're also paying him a lot of money. So
either way, man, these college coaches, when they get fired, they get paid, right? I think the NFL coaches are the same. It's like it's all guaranteed. I think the Raiders are still paying Gruden. I think they're still paying Gruden money.
That $100 million wasn't a $100 million contract for a coach.
Suck it, Raiders.
Only the Raiders.
Yeah.
Maybe the Browns. I'm surprised the Browns don't have any contracts like that.
Yeah, let's talk a little shit about the Raiders real quick, just because I want to.
Okay.
The only list that they're moving up on is the Lions just won their playoff game, right? So the next longest winless playoff victory record, I guess, is the Dolphins, and then the Raiders.
2005, was that right? Somewhere around there. 2000. Like the last time they won a playoff game.
Yeah. So Dolphins, I also don't like you guys because your fans have been beefing with us about the whole Tua Herbert. But the next time you guys win a playoff game and the Raiders don't, they're going to bump up on that list and take it over. So please,
should have been this year. Miami absolutely fell apart.
Yeah.
Pretty colossal downfall between Miami. There was a few of them. Dallas, the Eagles.
Ooh, yeah. Let's get into the Super Wild Card weekend now.
Yeah, man. I said the next topic, and that was a good segue into the next one.
So let's talk about the first game, man. This game, we both wanted to bet it. We didn't bet it, but Texans beat the Browns. And the irony behind that is, the whole Watson trade. The Browns went and gave Watson this crazy, fully guaranteed contract, and the Texans used that to get a bunch of draft picks. CJ Stroud wasn't part of that, but CJ was the one who replaced Deshaun Watson, and he's the one who beat the Browns this year to knock them out. So love that. Shout out to the Texans.
Yeah.
D'Amico, rookie QB and rookie coach.
Yeah, I did not think the Texans were going to win.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Joe Flacco ran out of magic, I guess, and they beat him bad. It wasn't even a game.
Yeah, Flacco threw like 2 back-to-back pick sixes, I think.
Yeah,
but I mean, it was crazy. They were the home underdog too, so they were at like plus 130, I believe, around there roughly. But that was a good bet if you took the money line for the Texans. Now they're going to go up against the Ravens. And as much as I love CJ and the Texans, I can't bet against them, or I can't bet against the Ravens here.
Yeah, if he beats the Ravens, there's really no more doubt. You can't, I mean, even I'm not saying I doubt him anyway, but if he beats the Ravens, sign me up. Like I'm not a hater on him at all, but I mean
he's impressive, man.
Right now, the Ravens are the best team
hands down
in football, and if they can beat them, they can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
100%.
Which is crazy to say, bro. Repeat that: Texans can win the Super Bowl if they beat the Ravens.
And who do they all owe it to? Getting that second pick instead of the first.
Lovey, baby.
Yeah, Lovey Smith actually just by winning that game. Everybody thought it was a curse, and that was probably the biggest blessing for that franchise, because I don't care what nobody says. They were going to take Bryce Young just like everybody else.
Hey, they did what Chargers did. Dolphins they went ahead and drafted Tua, left us with Herbert. Love it, baby.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes things play out the way they're supposed to.
Yeah, man. And the other games were the Chiefs and the Dolphins. Yeah, the Dolphins, they didn't look prepared to play in that cold weather at all. Tyreek Hill going back home.
He got shut down, man.
And as bad as the Chiefs' offenses looked, they actually looked pretty good in that playoffs. But, dudes who are special, who are talented, they're going to turn it up. And Patty, he's in my division, but you got to give him props, man. He looked good. Their rookie receiver, Rice, he looked phenomenal. Kelsey's looking a little older, but I mean, he's still gonna, do great things in the playoffs. So next up is going to be an interesting game because they got Buffalo in Buffalo.
Yeah, Rashee Rice, man, looking like the savior of the Chiefs' offense with Kelsey kind of starting to deteriorate. Mahomes needs a weapon, and he looks really good, honestly. Yeah. So that they need to add a little bit more, but that's a pretty good base for them to kind of build around.
The Bills beat the Steelers. We were expecting a little more snow, but shout out to how do you say it? Buffalonians? Whoever lives right there. The
Buffalonians.
Buffalonians. They did a great job shoveling up all the snow. We feel like, and I know we talked about this off air too, is if it was like more snow on the field, we feel like the Steelers probably would have covered that 9.5, 10-point spread. But because it was pretty clear, Steelers just didn't have enough in the offense to beat Buffalo or to keep up with them.
Yeah, Najee was pretty inefficient on the ground. But yeah, I mean, Josh Allen can zing that ball in that thin, crisp, cold air. Just that ball he was whipping it around, and without any snow or anything to
throwing piss missiles out there.
Yeah, he's insane.
Lions beat the Rams. That was a revenge game for Stafford and Goff.
Probably the best game of the weekend, I'd say. Good game. Rams definitely could have won it. I mean, it was Lions just disappeared in the second half, scored 3 points. Terrible.
But they were able to do enough to hold
off.
But they won by 2 points, I believe.
They won one or two. That made you that backdoor cover of that spread right there.
Now, that was the most exciting game, but my favorite game was the Packers just fucking destroying the Cowboys. Love watching the Cowboys lose. And they're always an accident waiting to happen. Shout out Stephen A. Smith for always roasting the Cowboy fans. My brother, he's a big Cowboy fan, and, I got to roast you too, bro. But, man, I love seeing the Packers do that to the Cowboys, baby.
Yeah, that game. I think everybody's a little surprised. So I had Packers money line in that one, but I made the mistake of parlaying it with the under, which became pretty clear. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they crushed. I think they scored almost 80 points in that game.
I was actually really confident in that game. I was like, yeah, Packers, but I was a little scared too. And we'll get into the bets that we made, but yeah, I was scared to go money line and just did the spread. But I don't know, just you have those feelings sometimes, and you're just like, yeah, the Packers, they're probably gonna do it. But it's also the Cowboys who just don't do nothing in the playoffs. So
what am I seeing? Cowboys are the only home team to lose after winning 16 straight home games.
Yep. Yeah, there's 6 games. 6 of the home teams won. The only one that didn't, or 5 out of the 6. Yeah. But anyways, and then the Eagles, man, they just looked pathetic the last 3-4 weeks of the season, losing to the Giants, losing out on the number 2 seed. And you could just tell Baker Mayfield lit them up, so they deserve losing.
Yeah. I I think nobody was shocked by that one. I think the Cowboys was pretty surprising for a lot of people, but I don't think anyone was too surprised about the Eagles. They seemed like they were pretty checked out.
Yeah.
They looked terrible, honestly. I mean, they couldn't tackle, they couldn't throw, they couldn't run, they couldn't do anything. You know, they made Kelsey retire at the end of the game.
Not official.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, probably. He's 36. He's might have to
pretty old
up.
for a center.
All right, so playoff picture for the divisional round, man. What's your most exciting game, Justin?
I mean, it's got to be Bills Chiefs. We've been having this one for the last few years, and Josh Allen finally gets to have it in his house, which could be the difference that he needs to finally get his win. I think you mentioned a stat the other night that Patrick Mahomes' first 15 playoffs games have either been at home or in the Super Bowl.
Bro, that's fucking
which
nuts.
is
that's
one of the most absurd. I mean, there can't be another time that's ever happened. I mean, we can leave that to our detailed fact checkers, but I mean, I couldn't even believe it when I first heard it. But I mean,
yeah,
we'll see how he performs on the road. It's hard to bet against Mahomes, but the Bills feels like they have the momentum right now, and so that's my game of the weekend.
Yeah. They were 6-6 at one point with like less than 10% chance to make the playoffs, and they ended up as the number 2 seed, thanks to the Dolphins there.
Yeah, I believe they said they had to win 8 or 9 games in a row to win the Super Bowl. So they had to win all those like last games of the regular season, and then they got to go all the way through the playoffs, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, man. My favorite or my most exciting game is going to be Packers and Niners. Niners, like, yeah, they're the toughest NFC team, but something about these Packers, man, like, this is the way I'm like looking at it. I'm not looking at it by the numbers, because obviously the Niners are better, even though their defense isn't as strong as it has been in the past. But Rodgers is no longer with the Niners, right? Or with the Packers. And the Niners have been taking the Packers out the last couple of years, especially when Rodgers went on his back-to-back MVP runs. So how big of a FU would this be to Rodgers if the Packers just go and beat the Niners on the road with Love under center? Like that's how I'm seeing it. They have the momentum. And I just, sometimes that team, like the Giants in, what was in 2008 when they beat the undefeated Patriots, like they just had that mojo. They had that momentum riding in. And I kind of feel that with the Packers. So that's my most exciting game. And it's all just based off Packers giving the big FU to Rodgers and saying, look, we can beat the Niners without you. Jordan Love's going to do it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think there's a lot of value on that game when it comes to betting too. Even if they don't win, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, if there was a team that could take them out, I don't think anyone else matches up that well against the 49ers. So I could see it happening.
Yeah. And that's a good little segue to our next and last segment, y'all. This is the Parlay Boys segment. And we just want to give everyone a little disclaimer here. Little to no research has been done on any of our bets. So if you lose, please be an adult and take full responsibility for your decisions. But if you win, let the world know. Me and Justin, we're the ones letting you know about these good bets. But, you got to think of it this way. Like Mama always said, winners never quit, quitters never win. Right, Justin?
Yeah, you're only one bet away from winning that big one.
One bet away, baby. But anyways, last week for Super Wildcard Weekend, we had a few bets ourselves. I was able to cash in on the money line for the Packers. I was too scared to take the points, but you know what? We ain't scared no more. Scared money don't make money, baby. So we're going to ride the money line this week again. I also rode the Bucks money line, but then I had a 2-leg parlay with the Bucks points and the over on 43, which was fucking ass because the game ended at 41 and they had a chance to kick a field goal. I get it. The field goal is pretty long. It was like a 58 to 60 yarder. I get it, but why not try it? Like they went for it on 4th and they're going to give up the ball anyways, just go for the kick.
Vegas called.
Anyways, I lost that one. The game ended at 41 total points for it, and I had the over at 43. Justin, what were some of your bets from last week?
I did great on my player props, but I missed every single bet I made on the game. So it was pretty break even. But yeah, luckily I had Josh Allen over on rushing, which was fun on that. Broke it right on that 52-yard run. That was a pretty fun one to watch. Couple other receiving parlays. Najee Harris. Who else did I have? Just a lot of running backs. Swift, DeAndre Swift. They're all covering their receiving props. But the Josh Allen one was a lot of fun. When the guy covers their over on one play, it's always pretty exciting.
He had a beast ass run too. It was like 52-yard the rushing TD.
Yeah, who else is making that besides maybe Lamar? Any other quarterbacks going down? Josh Allen's definitely not sliding.
God, I love watching him play QB, man. Besides when he's turning the ball over.
It's a middle linebacker playing QB, essentially.
All right, man. So let's talk about our favorite underdogs this week. Logically, it's going to be the Chiefs at plus 120, and we're getting our numbers off DraftKings for the record. But Chiefs is the logical underdog to bet at plus 120 because it's hard to bet against, Patty, and you're getting the Chiefs at plus money. Great bet. But again, I'm going to ride my Packers. They are the road dog at plus 330 currently. So if you bet 100, you can win 330. We're not big ballers, so we're going to bet a little less than that. But that's who I'm picking. That's my favorite underdog. Who's yours, Justin?
I mean, value-wise, it is. I'm probably with you on that one, but I mean,
oh yeah, we're riding the Packers.
We're riding the Packers, but I mean, yeah, it's hard to bet on Mahomes as an underdog.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a few. I mean, I don't know if we're talking lock yet, but yeah, my favorite underdog is probably just value-wise. I'm going with the Packers as well, but if I had to pick one and to bet big, it'd probably be the Chiefs, even though I'm high on the Bills. I mean, it's Mahomes.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong betting on Mahomes.
Yep. And our lock of the week is going to be the Bucks at plus 6. We like them with the 6 points on the road. Detroit, we think they match up well with Detroit, and we think Baker can swing it with Jared Goff because both QBs are kind of unpredictable. They can have really good games, really bad games. Both of them can throw 2 interceptions or no interceptions. So we like the Bucks at plus 6, and we wouldn't be the parlay boys if we didn't have a degenerate bet. Our degen bet for this coming weekend is going to be a 4-legger. We're going to go Ravens points, Chiefs money line, Bucks points, Packers money line. Packer money line is pretty scary given how big they are. Oh. All right, guys, and we are back. We had a little bit of technical difficult issues with our microphones, but
wouldn't be a first episode without some technical difficulties. Can't have it go too smooth.
Nope, exactly. But we were talking about our degen bet. We forgot where we left off, so we'll just go into our 4-leg parlay real quickly. But again, that was the Ravens points, Chiefs money line, Bucks points, and the Packers money line, baby. We'll see how we do for next week. We'll let you guys know if we hit, if we didn't hit. And also let us know what you guys bet too.
And we are accepting tips
exactly.
if this happens to hit and you are tailing.
Yeah.
20. At real Metzger.
20%. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the first episode of Same Shit, Different Day. Before we head out, though, we want to give a couple special thank yous to some people who helped make this happen. First and foremost, I want to shout out my mom and my sis, Maria and Krishna. Thank you for always supporting me. They are the owners of Lola's Cleaning, who specializes in multifamily cleaning and painting for move-ins, move-outs, and common areas. If you're a renter who's moving out and need your place cleaned before that move-out inspection, go ahead and email us. Or if you're a property manager who is looking for some competitive prices, go ahead and email us as well at lolascleaning44@gmail.com. I also want to give a shout out to Juliet for creating the logo for Same Shit, Different Day. She is a talented graphic designer, social media marketer, and she's a UW Husky baby. You can follow her at Juju Official, and that's JUJUUU Official. And last but not least, I do want to give a shout out to my brother, my hermano, Reynoso, the California Oso, for producing the intro and outro beat. We go way back, and I'm talking way back to our middle school days in Yakima, aka the Palm Springs of Washington. He's currently living in the San Diego area. working on music along with his own massage and holistic practice. He's been flowing for a hot minute, but it's been refreshing to hear him develop his sound by producing. Give him a follow on IG at Reynoso, the California Oso, and make sure to bump his music on all streaming platforms by searching Reynoso, the California Oso. Him and his beautiful wife, Honeycomb Sohn, have also been working on a new project, and together they go by The Osos, which is super dope. So make sure to follow them as well on IG at Good Food Fellowship. You can follow me and Metzger at Instagram and Twitter. Our handles have been on the streaming video for you guys to view. If not, they're going to be in the they'll also be available in the description. But again, guys, this is exciting. We're excited for the journey of this podcast, and thank you for joining us. Spread the word, subscribe, like, and give us a listen.
We'll see you next time.
Next week, baby.